In the depths of human potential lies an extraordinary truth. Your deepest desires are not just fleeting wishes, but seeds of creation waiting to sprout. Yet as we stand here today, most of us live our lives caught in an endless cycle of wanting, never truly understanding what we seek at our core. We chase shadows of desires manufactured by the world around us, while our authentic yearnings remain buried beneath layers of noise. Consider how many times you've changed your mind about what you want in the last year alone. One day it's a new career. The next, it's a complete lifestyle change. These shifting wants are like leaves in the wind, lacking the power to take root and grow into reality. This constant fluctuation isn't just normal. It's the very reason why creation remains a mystery to so many. True desire possesses a different quality altogether. It's not the restless jumping of thoughts from one wish to another, but a steady flame that burns regardless of external circumstances. When you really understand what you want, it becomes a focal point of your entire existence. Everything else arranges itself around this central truth. But here's what most don't grasp. The gap between thinking about what you want and creating it isn't filled by more thinking. It's filled by clarity. When your desire is clear, every cell in your body knows it. Your thoughts don't scatter in 1,000 directions, but flow like a river toward one destination. Your emotions don't wage war with your logic, but align with it in perfect harmony. This clarity is rare because we've been taught to want what we should want, not what we truly want. We've learned to desire success as defined by others, happiness as pictured in advertisements, and fulfillment as described in books. But creation doesn't respond to borrowed desires. It responds only to authentic ones. Those that emerge from your deepest truth. The first step in discovering what you truly desire isn't adding more wants to your list. It's understanding the difference between the noise of wanting and the silence of true desire. In this silence, you'll find that what you genuinely want isn't as complicated as you've made it. It's often simpler, clearer, and more aligned with who you really are. Think of it this way. Creation doesn't require convincing. When your desire is authentic, you don't need to convince yourself or others of its worth. It stands on its own, self-evident and unshakable. This is the foundation of all creation, not the scattered thoughts of maybe, but the unwavering clarity of absolute knowing. The power to create reality lies in understanding and aligning the four fundamental forces that shape human existence. These aren't abstract concepts, but living energies that flow through you every moment, whether you're aware of them or not. Your body carries an intelligence far deeper than intellectual knowledge. This intelligence knows how to maintain millions of functions without a single conscious thought from you. It knows how to heal wounds, fight infections, and maintain the delicate balance of life. When you learn to listen to this physical intelligence, you discover that your body never lies about what it truly needs. This wisdom becomes your first anchor in the journey of creation. Then there's the directing power of thought, the architect of possibilities. Your thoughts are not mere reactions to life. They are the blueprints of your future reality. But most people use this power backwards. Instead of directing thoughts toward what they want, they use thoughts to analyze why they can't have it. The mind becomes a prison rather than a launching pad. True thought power comes when you learn to hold a single vision without entertaining its opposite. The third force is the magnetic power of emotion. Emotions are not just feelings that happen to you. They are energies that attract or repel possibilities. When your emotional state aligns with your desires, you become a magnet for opportunities. But when your emotions contradict your thoughts, you create internal warfare that prevents manifestation. This is why people can think positively yet feel deeply uncertain. And in this battle, emotion usually wins. The fourth and most fundamental force is your life energy itself, the raw power of creation that animates your existence. This energy isn't just about being alive. It's about being alive with purpose. When your life energy is scattered, even the clearest thoughts and strongest emotions can't manifest reality. But when this energy is focused, it becomes a laser beam of creation, cutting through obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. These four forces, body intelligence, thought direction, emotional magnetism, and life energy, are constantly at work in your life. Most people leave these forces unattended, letting them pull in different directions. They think one way, feel another, while their body sends warning signals they ignore, and their life energy dissipates in 1,000 directions. But when you learn to align these forces, something extraordinary happens. Your body's intelligence supports your thoughts instead of fighting them. Your emotions amplify your vision instead of undermining it. Your life energy flows unobstructed toward your goals. This alignment isn't something you achieve once and forget. It's a continuous dance of awareness and adjustment. The mastery of these forces begins with recognition. You must first acknowledge that you are not just a thinking being, but a complete system of intelligence. Your success in creating reality isn't just about positive thinking or emotional control. It's about orchestrating all four forces in harmony. When these forces align, creation becomes not just possible, but inevitable. This alignment explains why some people seem to effortlessly manifest their desires, while others struggle despite working harder. The difference isn't in the amount of effort, but in the harmony of these internal forces. Those who create easily have learned, often unconsciously, to maintain this alignment. They don't fight against themselves. They don't think one way while feeling another. Their whole being moves in the direction of their desires. The greatest barrier between you and your desires isn't the world outside. It's the invisible wall of doubt you've built within. This wall wasn't constructed in a day. It rose slowly, brick by brick, through years of being told what's possible and what isn't. Every time you heard, "That's impossible," or "Be realistic," another brick was added to this wall. The mind has a peculiar way of working with possibility. When you're sitting here right now, you believe without question that you can stand up and walk across the room. This belief isn't based on faith or positive thinking. It's based on past experience. You've done it countless times before, so your mind accepts it as possible. But this same mind immediately rejects anything it hasn't experienced before as impossible. This is the trap that keeps humanity crawling when it could soar. You've turned your past into a prison, using previous experiences to determine future possibilities. Every time you say, "I can't," or "It's not possible," you're not describing the limits of possibility. You're merely confessing the limits of your past experience. Your mind operates like a sophisticated survival mechanism, constantly scanning for what could go wrong. When you propose a new desire, it immediately generates all the reasons why it won't work. This isn't because your mind is against you. It's trying to protect you from disappointment, failure, and waste of energy. But in doing so, it also protects you from growth, achievement, and the fulfillment of your desires. The cycle of doubt has a predictable pattern. First comes the desire, bright and full of potential. Then comes the but. But I don't have the resources, but I don't have the connections, but I don't have the time. These buts aren't facts. They're predictions based on past limitations. They're your mind's way of saying, "This doesn't match my previous experience, therefore it cannot be." Breaking this cycle requires a fundamental shift in how you approach possibility. Instead of asking, "Is this possible?" ask, "How can I make this possible?" This simple change transforms you from a passive observer of life into an active creator. It moves you from the realm of judgment into the realm of creation. When you declare something impossible, you not only predict your future, you create it. Your declaration becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The moment you say, "I can't," you release yourself from the responsibility of trying. You make failure inevitable, not because success was impossible, but because you've removed yourself from the equation of possibility. The truth about possibility is simple but profound. Nature doesn't consult your past experiences when deciding what can manifest in your future. The universe doesn't check your resume before granting your desires. The only permission needed for creation is your willingness to move beyond the familiar territory of your past experiences. This is why the greatest achievements in human history have always come from those who refused to accept the current boundaries of possibility. They didn't have special powers. They simply refused to let their past experiences dictate their future capabilities. They understood that what has never been done before becomes possible the moment someone believes it enough to try. Breaking the cycle of doubt isn't about denying reality. It's about understanding which parts of reality are fixed laws and which are merely temporary conditions waiting to be changed. The law of gravity is fixed, but your current circumstances are not. Your past experiences are facts, but your future capabilities are yet to be determined. Success in creation belongs to those who master the art of single-pointed focus. Most people's minds resemble a scattered light bulb, sending energy in all directions but illuminating nothing clearly. But the mind of a creator is like a laser beam, concentrated, precise, and powerful enough to cut through steel. This scattered state of mind has become the normal human condition. You wake up thinking about work. While eating, you're planning your weekend. While with family, your mind drifts to unfinished tasks. Each thought pulls a portion of your energy, leaving you with plenty of activity but little actual power. It's like trying to dig 100 shallow wells instead of one deep one that reaches water. Nature teaches us this principle through every successful creation. A seed doesn't try to become a flower and a tree and a bush all at once. It channels all its energy into becoming exactly what it is meant to be. Water doesn't try to flow in all directions simultaneously. It finds the path of least resistance and flows there with its full force. Even light, when focused through a magnifying glass, gains the power to ignite fire. The human mind, with its remarkable ability to imagine multiple possibilities, often becomes a victim of its own potential. The more capable you are, the more directions you can envision for your energy. But possibility is not the same as purpose. Having many options doesn't mean you should pursue them all simultaneously. When you understand the power of single-pointed focus, you realize why some people can create reality without seeming to work as hard as others. They're not working less. They're working with unified force. Their thoughts, emotions, and actions all point in one direction, like arrows flying toward a single target. There's no internal debate, no scattered attention, no division of forces. This level of focus doesn't mean becoming rigid or missing opportunities. Instead, it means developing the ability to maintain your direction while remaining aware of your surroundings. Think of a master archer, completely focused on the target, yet fully aware of the wind, the distance, and the movement of their own breath. This is the kind of attention that creates reality. The power of single-pointed focus extends beyond the mind. When your attention is unified, your body aligns its energy with your intention. Your emotions naturally flow in the direction of your focus. Even your breath, the most basic rhythm of life, synchronizes with your purpose. This is why ancient wisdom traditions always begin with teaching attention control. They understood that scattered attention means scattered creative power. Most significantly, single-pointed focus eliminates the internal conflicts that drain your creative energy. When your mind is scattered, you're constantly arguing with yourself about which direction to take. Each thought fights for attention. Each desire demands priority. But when you develop single-pointed focus, these internal arguments cease. Your energy, instead of being consumed by internal debate, becomes available for creation. This doesn't mean you'll never again have multiple thoughts or interests. It means you've developed the ability to give your complete attention to what's most important in each moment. When you're working on your primary goal, everything else fades into the background. When you need to attend to other matters, you do so with full presence, then return to your main focus without losing momentum. The development of this skill begins with understanding its value. Once you realize that scattered attention is not a sign of capability, but a leak in your creative power, you naturally begin to seek unity of focus. You start to notice when your mind wanders and gently bring it back to your chosen direction. You begin to feel the difference between divided attention and unified focus. The journey to discovering your true wants begins with a startling realization. Most of what you think you want isn't yours at all. Your mind has become a collection point for other people's desires, social expectations, and manufactured wants that masquerade as your own. This is why achieving external goals often leaves you feeling strangely empty. You've been climbing someone else's mountain. When you look deeply at your desires, you'll find that authentic wants have a different quality from borrowed ones. True desires don't shout. They resonate. They don't demand immediate attention. They persist quietly through time. While borrowed desires drain your energy, authentic ones energize you, even in the pursuit of them. This is the first key to recognition. True wants give you energy rather than take it. Think about the moments when you felt most alive, most yourself. In these moments, you weren't trying to be something or someone. You were simply being. Your actions flowed naturally. Your energy was abundant, and time seemed to move differently. These moments reveal your authentic direction. They're not just pleasant memories. They're signposts pointing toward your true path. Many people spend years pursuing success only to discover they were following a script written by others. They achieve the prestigious position, acquire the symbols of success, gain the admiration of others, yet feel increasingly disconnected from themselves. This disconnect isn't a sign of ungratefulness. It's your inner wisdom telling you that you've wandered from your true path. Understanding your authentic wants requires distinguishing between surface desires and core desires. Surface desires focus on specific outcomes, a particular job, relationship, or achievement. Core desires run deeper. They're about how you want to experience life itself. When you touch a core desire, it feels like coming home to a truth you've always known, but perhaps forgotten. Your true wants aren't random. They're intimately connected to your natural gifts and the unique contribution you're capable of making. This is why imitation feels hollow, while authentic expression feels fulfilling. You're not here to be a second-rate version of someone else. You're here to be a first-rate version of yourself. Your true desires point the way to this authentic expression. The process of uncovering authentic wants isn't about adding more desires to your list. It's about stripping away the layers of borrowed wants until you reach what's genuinely yours. It's about quieting the noise of external expectations until you can hear your own inner voice clearly. This voice has been speaking all along. It's just been drowned out by the clamor of artificial wants. One of the most reliable ways to identify true wants is to notice what persists after external validation is removed. What would you still want to do, even if no one ever knew about it? What activities make you lose track of time? What thoughts return to you in moments of quiet? These aren't just idle questions. They're excavation tools for uncovering your authentic desires. The beauty of discovering your true wants is that it simplifies everything. Decision-making becomes clearer because you have an internal compass to guide you. The need for external validation diminishes because you're no longer trying to prove anything to anyone. Your energy naturally aligns because you're no longer fighting against your own nature. Moving from thought to reality follows natural laws as precise as gravity. These laws operate whether you understand them or not. But when you grasp their workings, you can harness them consciously. Creation isn't mystical, it's methodical. It isn't random, it's rhythmic. The first law of creation is that thought precedes manifestation. Everything you see in the human-made world around you existed first as a thought in someone's mind. The buildings, the technology, the institutions, all were conceived before they were constructed. This isn't philosophy. It's a practical truth about how human creation works. Your thoughts are the blueprints of your future reality. But here's what separates dreamers from creators: inner stability. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to check its progress. Yet this is exactly what most people do with their desires. They plant a thought today, uproot it tomorrow with doubt, replant it with hope, and uproot it again with fear. No seed can grow in such unstable conditions. No desire can manifest in a mind that's constantly shifting its ground. This is where the power of simplicity reveals itself. Notice how children often manifest their desires more easily than adults. It's not because they're more skilled or resourceful. It's because their minds are simpler, more focused, and unburdened by the complexity of doubt. They don't analyze all the ways something could go wrong. They don't second-guess their desires. They simply know what they want and expect it to happen. The path of creation requires a return to this simplicity, but with the addition of mature understanding. It's about combining the focused desire of a child with the sustained commitment of an adult. This combination is rare because most people either lose their simple clarity as they mature or maintain their simplicity at the cost of deeper understanding. Your creative power increases exponentially when you learn to hold your desire steady without the need for constant external confirmation. Most people can only maintain their focus when circumstances support their vision. But circumstances are effects, not causes. Waiting for circumstances to align before holding steady to your desire is like waiting for a harvest before planting seeds. This steadiness of mind isn't about forcing yourself to think positively. It's about developing the strength to hold your vision regardless of current conditions. When you study successful creators, you'll notice this quality, an unshakable inner certainty that seems to operate independently of external circumstances. They're not in denial about current reality. They simply refuse to let current conditions dictate their inner vision. The quality of your creation depends on the stability of your creative state. Chaos in your mind produces chaos in your manifestation. Peace in your mind produces peace in your creation. This is why identical actions produce different results for different people. The action is only the outer expression of an inner state. Two people can take the same steps, but the one with greater inner stability will create more coherent results. Understanding this brings a profound shift in how you approach creation. Instead of focusing solely on actions, you begin to pay attention to the state from which those actions arise. You realize that maintaining the proper inner state is as important as taking the right outer steps. This is the difference between forced action and inspired action. One comes from chaos, the other from clarity. The power of creation reaches its peak when your inner forces align like instruments in an orchestra, each playing its part in perfect harmony. This alignment isn't something that happens by chance. It's an art that requires understanding and deliberate practice. Picture a river flowing toward the ocean. When all the currents move in the same direction, the river's power is unstoppable. But when currents clash and move in opposing directions, they create turbulence that wastes energy. Your inner powers work the same way. When your thoughts, emotions, energy, and physical actions align, you become an unstoppable force of creation. Most people live in a state of constant inner conflict. Their mind says one thing while their heart pulls in another direction. Their energy scatters across multiple pursuits while their body signals exhaustion. It's like trying to drive a car while simultaneously pressing the accelerator and the brake. No matter how powerful the engine, this internal conflict prevents smooth movement forward. The first step in alignment is recognition. You must become aware of how these forces are currently operating within you. Are your thoughts supporting your desires, or are they generating doubts? Do your emotions fuel your vision, or do they drain your enthusiasm? Is your energy focused or scattered? Your body holds the answer to these questions. It's constantly giving you feedback through sensations of ease or tension. Partial alignment creates partial results. This explains why some people can think positively while still not manifesting their desires. They've aligned their thoughts but left their emotions in opposition. Others have strong emotional desire but allow their thoughts to contradict their feelings. It's like trying to row a boat while one oar pulls forward and the other pushes backward. You move but in circles. True alignment happens when you bring all your inner powers into harmony with your desire. Your thoughts don't just accept your goal, they actively support it. Your emotions don't just tolerate your vision, they embrace it with enthusiasm. Your energy doesn't just acknowledge your direction, it flows toward it naturally. This state of alignment feels like everything within you is saying yes in unison. The evidence of alignment shows in the quality of your actions. When you're aligned, action feels natural rather than forced. You don't need to push yourself. You feel pulled forward by an inner momentum. This is why aligned action accomplishes more with less effort. You're not fighting against yourself, so all your energy goes into creation rather than internal conflict. The secret to maintaining alignment lies in regular inner attunement. Just as a musician must tune their instrument before playing, you must regularly check and adjust your inner harmony. This isn't about forcing alignment. It's about creating the conditions that allow natural alignment to emerge. When you find yourself struggling, it's often a sign that your inner powers have fallen out of alignment. The journey from invisible thought to visible reality follows distinct patterns that operate with the precision of natural law. Understanding these patterns helps you recognize where you are in the creative process and prevents you from giving up just before manifestation occurs. Creation begins in silence, much like a seed sprouting underground. During this initial phase, changes are happening beneath the surface where no one else can see them. Many abandon their desires during this phase because they mistake lack of visible progress for lack of movement. They don't realize that every massive creation begins with a period of invisible growth. As your thought takes root in the fertile soil of focused attention, it begins drawing to itself everything needed for its manifestation. This is where most people make a crucial error. They try to control how their desire should manifest, but nature is infinitely more creative than your planning mind. The path from thought to reality rarely follows your expected route. It often unfolds in ways far more elegant and efficient than you could have designed. Your role in manifestation is to maintain the ideal conditions for growth. Just as a gardener doesn't build the flower, but creates the conditions that allow it to grow, you don't force manifestation, you nurture it. This nurturing happens through consistent attention, protection from doubt, and patient trust in the natural process of emergence. Signs of impending manifestation often appear in subtle ways before the final result emerges. You might notice related opportunities appearing more frequently. People connected to your desire might enter your life unexpectedly. Skills you need might become suddenly accessible. These synchronicities aren't coincidences. They're the natural result of aligned creation drawing its necessities toward itself. The speed of manifestation varies with the scale of creation and your level of inner alignment. Small desires held with complete alignment can manifest quickly, while larger creations may require longer periods of development. This timing isn't arbitrary. It's precisely matched to the preparation needed for you to successfully handle the manifestation when it arrives. The final phase of manifestation often feels like an acceleration, where multiple elements come together simultaneously. This moment can feel both surprising and completely natural. Surprising in its timing, but natural in its unfolding. It's like watching a flower bloom. The opening happens suddenly, but it's the result of all the growth that preceded it. Throughout this process, your primary task is to maintain unwavering awareness of your desired creation while staying flexible about its form. The essence of what you desire will manifest, but its exact shape may differ from your initial picture. This difference isn't a compromise. It's often an improvement, drawing on possibilities your limited perspective couldn't have imagined. The ultimate secret of manifestation is this: you don't have to figure everything out. You don't need to know every step before you begin. Your job is to hold the vision and stay in alignment. The intelligence that orchestrates the growth of forests and the movement of planets is more than capable of arranging the details of your creation. Trust this process, work with it, flow with it, and watch as your thought becomes reality.